Well, let me take this time to greet all our viewers at home and also acknowledging the great work that Mvuzo Ministries is doing, helping especially our young people. I must also say these few words to Mvuzo to say, my brother, keep up the good work. I was asked to talk to you today about a very subject that is very dear to my heart, especially during this month of our young people. For you to be able to make a difference in this world, you need to be equipped. There is nothing powerful in life like a changed mind. So today, for many of us to become or join or start businesses and become entrepreneurs, our great main objective or purpose, we want to be successful people. But I've got good news for you today, is that if you want to be successful in life, do not seek success. If you want to be successful in life, my brother, my sister, do not seek success. Most successful people, they never seek success. If you study the biography of Bill Gates, Nelson Mandela, most of powerful people, when we look at them and said, these are successful people, they never seek success. Maybe you can ask yourself one question, that what must I do, Mpilo, to become successful? If you want to be successful in life, seek to become the person of value. Seek to become the person of value. What do I mean by that? I mean, dentist is spending many years studying your teeth, and he becomes a person of value. Make yourself a person of value. Because when you make yourself a person of value, that's when people start to seek you. And the question before I present my subject to you today, are they looking for you? Are they looking for you? Can people drive all the way just to meet you? Let me say this as I start, that there are two different things. Being an entrepreneur and a tenderpreneur are two different things. Many people think that to become an entrepreneur, you should become a tenderpreneur, but let me explain that clearly today. You see, a tenderpreneur is a short-lived thing. It creates a false economy. It creates a false economy. What do I mean by that? You know, I'm generally concerned, my friends, that there's a belief that is growing, you know, in our community that to do amatenda, it becomes a profession. To do amatenda, it's a quick thing of making money. Let me tell you something today. I mean, you find that even others, they even start to boast that there's no need even for me to go to school because I can make a lot of money. I mean, even young people start questioning themselves that, people by tender, hey, I mean, look, there's nothing wrong to do tender. There's nothing wrong to start a business. But because starting a business and become an entrepreneur, that will help you. There's nothing, ladies and gentlemen, cruel like salary. I mean, people will testify in this. There is nothing cruel like salary. When you are employed, someone looks at you and said, your value is 9 rand an hour. Your value is so much an hour. I used to watch my dad or my mom get payday. Hey, when a payday comes, it reminds you how poor you are. I do understand that part. So that's why people decide to go out there and become entrepreneur and start business, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you need to have a passion of what to do. You must understand what this is all about. Because this entrepreneur creates false economy. And how it works, you must know so-and-so. You must have contacts. And it is short-lived. Because I have seen so many people, they wear label clothes, drive beautiful cars, and it makes many young people to think that, no. Going to school is not easy. Spending years in university is not easy. But later, it makes you a person of value. People start to seek your skill. People can drive all the way because you become a specialist. So what I'm trying to say, quick fixes increases the damage. So what I want us to look at now, it becomes a norm. Our young men seems enough successful entrepreneurs in order for them to conclude that education is not valid and beneficial part of building oneself into a successful person. In fact, I've heard some say, it just slow me down because I can make more money by shortcuts. But I want to present something to you, ladies and gentlemen, this evening, for all of us to understand what it is to become an entrepreneur. Is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so. There's no easy path in life. There's no easy path in life. And I want us to understand something. If you want to be an entrepreneur, take a step back and evaluate whether or not you have the following characteristics. Maybe you're asking yourself a question, Pilo, what are those characteristics that will make me a successful entrepreneur or a business person? 1, you must have what we call self-motivation. Self-motivation. My lecturer used to say to me, no goals, no achievement. No goals, no achievements. In other words, whatever your mind conceive, dare to believe you can achieve. In other words, if you're aiming at nothing, you won't mind. So what I'm trying to say, self-motivation is the most important trait of entrepreneurs in self-motivation. In other words, when you want to succeed, you need to be able to push yourself. You need to be able to push yourself. In other words, you don't become a spectator. You develop a vision. I always say to people, we have different kinds of people. When you're a leader of yourself, self-leadership, you start to have a vision. Start with a vision. You know, when you're a visionary, you say, you know, I want to achieve this. And then you need to become a manager where you come in with the strategic planning. In other words, I want to go there. How? There must be an how. That's why they say in English, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So in other words, remember, when you are an entrepreneur, you don't have a boss. No one is going to push you. No one is going to tell you about targets. So you need a self-motivation. In other words, don't look down to yourself. Believe in yourself. Tell yourself that I have what it takes. I have what it takes. Yes, if I fail doesn't mean that I'm a failure. So first thing, when you want to become an entrepreneur, self-motivation. You know, also I'm reminded, you know, Anthony Jennings used to say to me, positive things happen to positive people. You cannot run a business and you are full of failure, negative. Hey, if this does not work. Hey, if this thing, life, if we want to go into business, positive things happens to positive people. A negative attitude is equal to negative results. People who made it in life are those who say, I can. And the beauty of trying things, if you fail, you will learn from those failures. So the first trait in business that you need to do when you start to run your own business, be positive. Self-motivation. Knowing that on the 15th of the month, I don't have the 25th of the month. I don't have the 31st of the month. I have to make things happen. So, self-motivation. Number 2, understanding what you offer. You see, many other people, why they are not making in life. You see, in life, you need to know what you offer. In other words, as an entrepreneur, you need to know what you offer and how it fits into the market. Identify the need. Do your homework. Do your feasibility study. That's why they say selling and marketing are two different things. Marketing is to meet your customers' expectation. So in other words, identify the need, understand what is there, and be able to respond to that need. This also includes knowing whether you are high end, middle of the road, or back. You see, being able to position yourself and then adjust as needed is an important part of being a business person. You cannot be shallow. You cannot say, this is how it's done. No. Be able to identify the needs. Sit down and say, when people are seeing Corona, see an opportunity. See an opportunity. So in other words, the first point I've said, characteristics of becoming a successful business person or an entrepreneur. Firstly, you must have a self-motivation. Self-motivation. Because the journey that you are taking is not simple. It's not easy. Number 2, understand what you offer. Number 3, be prepared to take risk. What do I mean by that? Successful entrepreneurs knows that sometimes it is important to take risks. Playing it safe is almost never leads to success. Playing safe? No. Before I enter this, let me doesn't mean you must not calculate, but be prepared to take risk. It is not about taking just any risk, though. Understanding calculated risks that are more likely to pay off is an important part of being an entrepreneur. You will need to be willing to take a few risks to succeed. In other words, you need to be able to sit down and say, man, I may not be able to have all the answers and understand, but sometimes let me allow my gut feeling. So in other words, that's why I said in the beginning, positive things happen to positive people. So if you look mostly to successful business people, are people that were willing to take risk. So the first point you must understand is that self-motivation. Number two, understand what you offer. Understand, identify the need. And because, you see, when you don't understand what you offer, it's what they say, you see, there are people who are too busy in life, but not effective. In cause Obamba Payekap, no, focus. That's why they said you are a jack of all trades, but master of nothing. In business, if you are in this sector, focus to it, learn about it, develop your skill, learn about it, grow in it. Not, you see, the entrepreneurs, they are in everything. What business are you doing, my friend? No, I'm in this. I'm a caterer. I'm a painter. I'm in construction. That's why they say you'll end up being is busy, but not effective. Also, my friend, number three, I said take risk. Now I come to another point I love. Know how to network. You can't run your business in isolation. You need to be part of this business community. In other words, knowing how to network is an important part of entrepreneurship. Sometimes who you know is an important part of success. Don't make enemies. Build relationships. Be a man of his word. You see, that's a key part in business. That's a key part running your own business, becoming a man of his word. Life is about building relationships. That's a key part of life. Building relationship. What do I mean by that? It is much more important when you are entering into business that you build your network, being able to connect with others. And listen to this. Being able to connect with others and recognize partnership opportunities can take you a long way as a business owner. Figure out where to go for networking opportunities and make it a point to learn how to benefit. How to benefit. So in other words, be able to network. You see, the key part here, knowing how to network. Knowing how to network is an important part of an entrepreneurship. Sometimes who you know is an important part of success. Being able to connect with others and recognize partnership. I cannot make it alone, but together. You see, remember, for you to be successful, you need to be able to learn to others. It's very important to network and understand this thing. We said for you to be successful in business, remember, when I started, I said most successful people, if you want to be successful in life, don't seek success. Because if you start to seek success, you'll end up not being successful. I said, make yourself a person of value. Make your person of value. People will come to you because you have something to offer. And I also explained the difference between being an entrepreneur is different from a tender entrepreneur, where people want shortcuts and it's short-lived. It is not sustainable. It does not teach you resilience. I have seen people in this industry where I am, you see, based on their network, I know this one there, I can maneuver there. But guess what? Comes a new Pharaoh who don't know Joseph. So these things are not sustained. That's why I'm saying rather focus and build the skill that you have and be able to become a person who can make a difference. Self-motivation, understanding what you offer, be able to take risk. And I said number 4, know how to network. Number 5, basic money management skills and knowledge. Very important. Very important. That you must be able to understand when you run a business. When you run a business, if you want to be successful, you should still have basic money management skills and knowledge. Understand how money works so that you know where you stand and so that you run your business on sound principles. Invest. Save. You see, don't be deceived thinking that people that are in business claim all is well. No. And I always say to young people when I talk to people, you see, one of the things that destroys many of our young people, never compare yourself with anyone. Because when you start comparing yourself with others, that's where the low self-esteem comes from. Be able to manage. It's very important that we develop what we call self-leadership, self-management. Be able to budget, plan your things. Don't just, I always say to people, don't be moved by others and you start to become a copycat. So be able to manage your things correctly and understand that there are really, you see, in business, it's not always sunshine all the time. I read a book that an ex-billionaire is looking for a job. So in other words, you must be able to budget, plan, and know what is necessary. There are needs, there are wants. So what I'm trying to say, understand those things. Number 6, flexibility. You can't become a successful business person or entrepreneur if you are not understanding that you must have this thing called flexibility. In other words, to a certain degree, you need to be flexible as an entrepreneur. Be willing to change as needed. There are times you sit and you think, but while you are there, be able to, That's why they say in the council of many, there is safety. Stay on top of your industry and be ready to adopt changes in process and product as they need it. Sometimes you also need flexibility in your thinking. Remember what I've said when I started. There is nothing so powerful like a changed mind. Like a changed mind. We used to say when we were in YFC, anchored to the rock, but geared to the times. You cannot run now business in Getili equip yourself, understand that we are living in a technology environment and start to equip yourself. Let your business be, adjust yourself, understand, where things are out there. So what I'm trying to say, be flexible. This is it's an essential part of problem solving. You want to be able to find unique and effective solution to issues. Be flexible. Don't be stubborn. Don't say, I always do things this way. No. Anchored. Move with times. So what I'm trying to say, my friends, as I appeal more to our young people, that firstly, you must understand what you want. Find passion in what you want and start develop that passion. So in other words, it is very important that we see, you cannot equip people unless you are equipped. So in other words, we need to run away from shortcuts. Many of our people, they want results. It's like we have this tendency. We want to harvest where we did not work hard and plow and sweat. But life does not work that way. You see, there are fundamental, there are things in life that does not change. Laws of life. You reap what you sow. In other words, if you don't put effort into things, don't expect results. So, what I'm trying to say, first, find passion. Don't just run into business because you want to make money. All I want is just want to make money. Firstly, do something that you love and that will create or make a difference to others. That's why I said, make yourself a person of value. And when you have something to offer, people will come to you. That's why I asked you a question. Are they looking for you? Are people looking for you? Do you have something to offer? Be a person of value and understand your importance. The last part that I want to bring to us, passion. Finally, successful entrepreneurs are passionate. They feel deeply about their product or service or mission. I always say to people, you must understand the word mission, the reason for existence. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, for you first to understand when you enter into something, what motivates me? Why am I doing what I do? What drives me to do what I do? So in other words, you see what I'm saying to you, that mission, reason for existence, that thing that wakes me up in the morning, that thing that leads me to go out there and make a difference. So in other words, it is very important before you enter into business, understand that you must have a passion. Passion is what will help you to find motivation when you are discouraged. Let me tell you something. Life does not, you see, there are things that are not in the circle of our influence in life. So you need to have a passion, because when those challenges come in your way, your passion will talk to you, will motivate you, will tell you things will turn around. So, because I need, because I see so many people saying, I want to start a business, Mpilo. I think I'm going to start a business. I'm going to go and register a company. I think it's about time now. I run my own business. I think it's easy to do that. But friends, I can tell you now. Have a passion and have resilience, spirit. That no matter what, I am not going to give up. That's why I said to you, you see, that this thing, when you run a business, you must understand certain things. As I said to you, this entrepreneurship paints a picture of instant wealth, riches. Also, an entrepreneur is defined as someone who organizes and manages businesses. See, you must understand, when you enter and become an entrepreneur, you have a vision, and you told yourself that I am not going to be shaken. And as much I am profit driven, but the other side, I am going to develop myself in the process. So we need to prepare ourselves before we enter into this space. I mean, let me share my own experiences. You see, many of us, when we don't know what to do, we go out there and register a company. And I've seen some of the people I work with, many of our people, they don't want to sweat, but they expect results. So what I'm submitting to us today, that if you want to operate a business, you must be clear that first, I must have self-motivation, because the space that I'm going in is not going to be a walk in the park. There are challenges. But find passion in what you're doing and develop yourself. In other words, many of us sometimes, because of lack of being equipped in the fields where we operate. Typical example, I always say to people, knowledge is an accumulation of facts, and understanding is the interpretation of those facts. So firstly, I appeal to our young people that make yourself a person of value. Stop thinking that jumping because you know right people, you can start it. If your motivation to start a business is because I have a strong network, I can maneuver there and there. Oh, my friend, those things I can tell you now, those things are short-lived. Those things are short-lived. And many of our people love shortcuts. And they love handouts. That's why they say in English, if someone loves fish, you don't always give that person fish. But what you do, you teach that person how to fish. So in summary, my friends, as I said to you, that being an entrepreneur is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. They always say, if you want to gain, you first lose. If you want to gain, you first lose. So in other words, we said it is very important when you want to run your own business to have these characteristics: self-motivation. Self-motivation. Understand what you offer. Be prepared to take risks. Know how to network. Know how to network. Basic money management. Also, understanding flexibility. So, my appeal to you today is that I understand we are living in a very challenging time, but stay away from shortcuts. Rather work hard, and working hard, it does pay. I was reading a story of Ndlaleni, and many of us, we look at Maponya malls, we get motivated, wow. But if you start to hear the story, the old man, resilience, perseverance, understanding that he started selling this, he grew the business. And be careful of things that goes like quick. those things are short-lived. So my appeal to you young people, it is good if you want to go start a business, but understand it's possible. You can make it. You can make it. Tell yourself that whatever my mind conceive, and you must remember one thing, there's a word called potential. You can do more than you think you can do. There is something in you. You know, I was reading a story also when a young boy was asked, Ogoti, tell me, my son, when you becoming old, what you want to be? A young boy said, I want to be a world champion in boxing. And people around him said, you so thin, you won't make it. But that man became Muhammad Ali. He became the world champion in boxing. You know, I like what Ali said. He said, I hated times when I have to go to the gym, you know, train, exercise, prepare. But being a champion requires that. Requires that. Also, in England, as you know the story, a young man failed standard six times. He was called a nuisance. Tatagad, Udom. But that young man became Winston Churchill, the founder of the United Nations. He was the Prime Minister of Britain. That's why when he was called in one of the universities in London, you know, he stood behind the podium and he said, never, never give up. So, in other words, when you have dreams about yourself, have a plan. It is good to dream, but have an action plan that will motivate you. Firstly, when you have a dream, say to yourself, I must develop a plan. At least have a short-term goals, long-term goals. Because remember, when you have all these things, be able to start to evaluate yourself. Set time frames. Hold yourself accountable. You know, it's good to have a dream, but if you don't have an action plan about your dreams, it's like dead. Like, be able to say, in 5 years' time, this is where I see myself. You know, I like to write things and said, this is where I am now. I want to get there. And when you do that, it helps you because you'll be able to start now evaluating yourself and said, am I going forward or not? Which areas where I need to improve? Because if you don't start to what we call an introspection and start, you know, looking at yourself and said, which areas I need to improve? Yes, why I'm not, if I said in 2020, I mean in terms of my dreams, I want to do 1, 2, 3, why I'm not there. So what I'm trying to say, friends, is that it is important that if you want to become a business person, running your own business, understand before you get there that you need to prepare yourself. That's what I always say to people, self-leadership. And understand that when you do any business, you need to develop what we call a feasibility study of it. Have a business plan and understand your strength. You know, understand things you like we were talking about a passion earlier on. So I want to say to all of you out there, it is not wrong when you want to start your own business. Go for it. But let me repeat again. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And sit down, calculate your loss, be prepared to risk, and I can tell you, you will go out there and make a difference. And people who made it in life are those who said, I'll push it. So it is good that first make yourself a person of value as a young person. So I appeal to all of you out there as young people that focus. Maybe I see there are some people who are watching me. Maybe you've got some questions. Maybe you and we can engage. And I'm prepared as well. There is not even one person who started a business. I mean, let me say this without fear. Every successful person have a sad story to tell. Have a sad story to tell. Don't see the bling blings and what and what. No. So what I'm trying to say to all of you out there, be prepared that as I start this journey, I will focus. You know, they always said a dead fish cannot be able to face the streams of the coming waves, but an alive one will go through. So tonight, stop making excuses for yourself. Don't say, I don't think business is for me. I won't make it. Stop making excuses for yourself. Remember, these people that are successful today in life, we are all given 24 hours a day. You see, the key thing in business, Ababan Banemali are making a difference out there. They are not getting a 25-hour a day. We are all given. See, I always say to people, what is common between me and Donald Trump and Bill Gates and the man who served time in prison? Time is not a discriminator. You see, we live in a world of inequality. There are those who have, there are those who don't have, but time is not a discriminator. What do I mean by that? We are all given 24 hours, but it depends how you spend your 24 hours. So those that are successful, they have a plan. They have a way they spend their time. So my thing that I'm submitting to you tonight, if you want to be successful, it's how you spend your time, how to manage your time, develop, what we call time management. Many of us, we measure on minus. We spend more time with this unnecessary. And later, especially as black people sometimes, we like to see results without investing. You know, I see many other families, how parents invest their time during this lockdown to their children, study with their kids. You see, us, we expect our children to be successful, to pass, but we contribute nothing. And that is not going to work like that. To become an entrepreneur, you invest in your business for you to see results later. I would rather suffer now and enjoy later. So maybe you have a question, maybe you want to engage with me. You can maybe write something and then we can engage. I see I see a video, I see some people. But the point, the key thing for tonight was just to motivate young people that if you want to be successful in life, you don't need to seek success, but be a person of value. Make yourself a person of value, and then people will come to you. And as I close, why are they looking for you? Are they looking for you? Around the table and people said, hey, we have to look for, are the people looking, are they looking for you? Do you have anything to offer to us? So the key thing in my presentation tonight, make yourself a person of value. If you have any other question or you want to raise something with me, you are more than welcome maybe to write, and then we can engage. I see someone is writing. I mean, I can tell that You see, key things is why I can read what you are saying. As I said initially, believe to yourself. I mean, when you are about to do something, special business, you won't have answers. There's no clear path and say, this is how it's done, plan like this. But as long as you are able to say, all right, I calculate my risk. And as I said initially, positive things happen to positive people. And not just being positive, but have a plan. Have a plan. And that's why I'm saying be able also to set targets, goals. By doing so, that will be able to help you. Am I moving forward or am I moving backward? And be able also, another important thing in business, be able to criticize yourself and see areas of improvement. What can I do to improve myself? Maybe I lack this skill. I need, that's why we were saying be able to network to others. Get involved, in terms of to do some collaboration with other businesses so that you learn from others. That's how you will learn. But if you think, no, people who think they know it all, the more, actually, I was taught one thing, the more you learn, the more you discover that you don't know nothing. So, readers are leaders. The more you learn, remember this, the more you learn, the more you discover you don't know nothing. So, if there's no other questions, but to me, my biggest thing I want to say out there to our young people, do not be deceived by these tender entrepreneurs think that is the route to go. It's short-lived. It is short-lived. It is not sustainable. It's a false economy that I enter into business because of my network. I know so and so. Doesn't work that way. It's a false economy. Be able not to become a spectator. Say, I'm going to be part and I'll learn and develop my business. And I can tell you, having a good attitude, there is nothing powerful like a changed mind. You will make wonders if you do that. So my appeal to all of you who are listening, let's go out there and make a difference in what we do. Let's go out there and help our communities, because I'm telling you, look what this pandemic has done to us. Many of our people have lost their jobs. And if you're not used to work for yourself, if you're not used to understand certain things, there are people all their lives, they are being employed. They don't know what to do now. So, and there is not, what I'm trying to say, when people say any business, if you love it, you are more passionate about it, that business can yield result for you. You don't need to be all in construction sector or what, no. Find something that you love and start to work on that thing and grow it. And I promise you, you will look back and smile. So, I want to thank Ndlaleni Ministries for this opportunity that I can share with you and engage with you. Please, to our young people, especially in our region of Nelson Mandela, where in PE, let me say that in Mvuzo, we have a youth sector at NAVCOG where we are developing young people, and we have opportunities where they can be able to access funding for their businesses. So I'm saying doors are open. I cannot make it alone. You cannot make it alone. But together we can make a difference. So remember, positive things happen to positive people. I thank you.